Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope everyone had a great weekend. My weekend went pretty well. Let me just turn the music down just for a moment there. That way you guys can hear me. Um, been working on avionics, aircraft wiring, blueprints, diagrams, harnesses, all sorts of stuff. So I haven't had too much to show for pictures on that. But other than that, aside from that, I've been working on ASU for some of my school project stuff for the graphic design degree program I'm working through. And of course, I came through and was going through some of my art stuff, and I came across, I got two of these guys. Let me throw this down there. They're 10 by 20 inch frames. I got them at an estate sale with a whole bunch of other picture frames. So as I was going through there, I saw them. I said, I got two of them, and they're 10 inch by 20 inch. So I was like, well, maybe I'll do some drawing stuff in my sketchbook, see if I can come up with something to where we can put them in the art studio, or who knows, maybe we'll auction them off or something. I don't know. But anyway, so what I did is I did a sketch, as you saw from some of the little pictures of it. Probably can't get that. Let me get that a little bit closer so you guys can see. I did a little quick sketch of a scuba girl and stuff, you know, being down here in Florida. And I said, well, we need the other one. We need to have a scuba guy for it, or a snorkeling guy, maybe a skin diver or something like that. Maybe it doesn't have to have all the gear on and whatnot, but something that'll work with both. We'll work on the backgrounds to it. And so I scanned that piece into my Clip Studio Paint. It's on my computer here, and we'll get going on that in just a moment. So, but got some things in the works. That's what we're going to play with today, taking a little break from the Halloween stuff and the Spooktober event stuff like that. We'll pick that up in a little bit. Probably, maybe Thursday. Who knows? Maybe Thursday what we'll do is we will come up with a new overlay for down here. And maybe for up top, maybe we'll do like a fall thing for Thanksgiving and whatnot like that, or for a Harvest Festival. Or we'll come up with something for the next month. And we'll change out the Halloween stuff. Maybe we'll work on some sketches for that for Thursday, later on in the week. So, anyway, we might as well get started. Let me grab my trusty little glove here, and let us swap over to the other screen where you can see what's going on. Like I said, hope your day went well. If you guys come in, by all means, say hi. Drop a line. Tell me how your day went, what you've been up to, what you've been working on. So, this is the scan I did of that scuba girl and stuff. I didn't catch, I clipped her out, is what I did. I got a bunch of notifications. Notifications always seem to show up at 7:03 on the dot. Anyway, so I did that. Let's see what else I did. I used a reference pic for a boat there. And then what I did is I came in here, and of course I did a line art on her. So let me turn that on. There we go. We'll turn off all this stuff. I'll show you what I did. So I basically then did a line art on it. So let me turn off the sketch piece. So that way we had the line art. Drop some base color down on her to where we had a base color that we wanted with it. And I started working on some of the shadows. And I did put some of the eye detail in. But then I also worked on some line art for the background. Is what I did here. And of course I need to actually grab it while I see it because I had my color palette on. Need to fill in all this. Come on. Actually, it's not going to do that because I got a mask on it. So we'll get to play with that in a moment. But anywho, so I got that far, and of course at the top I always put my color palette down so that way I can refer back to them much quicker than having to go over here to the top right side. So we'll do some work on the on some of the shadowing, and then we'll start working on the shadows, highlights, and we'll go from this for a little bit. We'll work on this a little bit, and then I'll flip this back up and we'll pull out the sketch pad and we'll do some hand drawing and stuff, and we'll work on the scuba guy. So that's what we got going on so far. So we'll work from there, and let's see what we can do. Go to the shadows. First, probably though, a little raw, a little fresh there. So maybe we'll just do some sketches and stuff to it. Let me pop open to change the screen around to where I can bring this over here. That way I can still see you guys with the chat window. Perfect. Now I can see the chat window. And I don't know. Maybe we'll just do a random piece here. We'll take a few minutes and we'll just kind of throw out some shapes and see what we can come up with. Alright. get ourselves warmed up. What do we want to do with this? Let's see. Bring this. And Brian, howdy, looking forward to seeing what you come up with tonight. Brian, how you doing? Thanks, brother. I look forward to seeing it too. We'll come up with something neat. We'll make it work. They're just doing a little bit of quick sketching here right now just to kind of get everything warmed up. Get the hand function flowing again. Maybe we'll run it that way. Run this up this way. How was your week, Ben? You have a good weekend? Great. How about you? I'm sure you will. Yeah, well, I've been doing pretty good. I did find out some info that it wasn't too hot. I found out the other day. It's my grandmother. She's 101 years old. She got released from the hospital, but she's on hospice care, so they're not sure how well she's going to be doing. So we'll probably, maybe, I think Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday for next week and stuff, I'll probably won't be doing a live stream. If I do, it might be a little bit to where you don't actually see me. You might just see the screen. I might try it out without having that camera set up for it, or I might try and maybe use my my cell phone because we're going to go see about visiting her and whatnot, if everything works out okay. So Tuesday we might not have a live stream because I'll be visiting her to see how she's doing, especially being she's on hospice care. Okay, yeah, working on napping all weekend. How about you? Oh, well, I've been doing, actually I spent most of the weekend working on a design project for visual communications class. So it was like a little over 160 images we were compiling and doing edits on. I'll pray for her completely. 100-year-old is incredible. Yes, 101 is awesome, and she has such an amazing personality, amazing theory of life, which is the coolest thing. So, and of course, she's my last grandparent that I have living, so it's one of those things too. So, let's see if we can get just a little bit here. But all good things must come to an end at some point. And if it's time, it's time. So, but she's a tough old bird, as we always put it. What you want, Lily? My doggo's wow, that's a lot. Yep. One second, my doggo needs to, it's giving me the sign that she wants to go outside for a moment. Alright, there we go. Gotta take care of the doggos. That's awesome. Yeah, tough losing them. I have both alive on my dad's side. Grandma has dementia big time. Yeah. She doesn't have dementia. She her vision is getting a little bit bad though. But other than that, yeah, she does sleep a bit, but she's not doing too bad. So we got a neat got a face we're putting together here for this guy. This will be good. We'll get us kind of in the motion for changing up some of this stuff from a girl to a guy poses. Let's give a little hit there. See if she ran by or not. She might have. So anyway, that's awesome. Yeah, tough isn't it? Okay, just making sure I didn't miss somebody's chat. So we got a little quick one there. Maybe we'll give him a little. Give him a Superman. Do it something like that high. You'll have his like a little wave curl. And we'll probably bring it down that way a little bit. A little hair over that way. Alright. Just getting the arm warmed up. That's good she doesn't do much tough when they end up with that. She still remembers people, doesn't remember anything current. Ah, yeah. Oh, just saw the doggo. Give me 1 second. I gotta take my headphones off so I can close the door. Got that big old wet dog. You never see her because I'm at a standing desk, you know, so I'm not like sitting or anything. Alright, let's see, what can we do with this one? Maybe we'll do something interesting with this one. Maybe we'll... Maybe we'll do a kind of a... Do some sort of little monster for this one. We'll do a quick little sketch for that. Do sort of a... What was that? Yeah, you saw her briefly. Yeah, a little white flash, a big white flash. Maybe we'll do like a, who knows, maybe like a... Trying to think of that movie. Pacific Rim, Kaiju. Yeah, the Kaiju. Maybe we'll do that. Give him like a little horn. Maybe we'll do like a little triangle selection here. Run that in. A little nostril thing. Give it sort of a mix of a shark piece. Give it some interesting jagged little teeth. Let's see, we'll have just a little quick sketch. All right, I think we're warmed up. Let's work it back. We'll just come back over here now that I got my hand warmed up a bit. All right, let's go work on this. Yeah, Jaws. All right, let's see. We're on shadows. Let's hit that real quick, and let's see if we can change up a little bit of color to it. Now we are going to use. It's going to have some warm lighting to it, so we are going to project a little bit of a warmer light to it. Don't let Jaws get the girl. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll put him in there somewhere. Maybe I'll have him. I plan on what I'm going to do is I might actually have the guy off on the left side of when the picture frame, and we'll carry the landscape over a bit to it. And who knows, maybe I'll have something interesting over there. So we'll work on that. Anyhow, let's see here. Let's give it a little bit of a yellowish color to it probably, and we'll darken it down a little bit. Maybe get desaturate a tiny bit. And let's go to a G pen. What are we on? We're on 10? Yeah, that should do okay. Let's see here. We already got a little bit of shadows there for it, but I want to give it a little bit more. And the nice thing about the shadowing is, actually, let me, I'll show you what I did with the shadows. The shadows are actually really interesting because I actually have used, instead of actually doing the coloring, I actually did like a darker color to it. So it actually matches her skin tone. So it gives it a little bit more of a better, not so flat look. So I'm going to love the cruise ship. Yeah, got actually a yacht in the background there is what I kind of did a SketchUp of. So I'll zoom that in so you can kind of get an idea of that. We'll do some effects on it and whatnot. All right, so anyway, where was I? Back over here. Let's kind of play with that a little bit. And let's see. And if you're just coming in the stream, by all means, welcome. Hope your day went well. Hope you've had a great day. If you like it, say hi. Give a chat, and let's see what we can come up with. What do we got? Let's go with maybe a darker yet. Don't know yet. Let's see here. Why am I not getting... Oh, sorry. Help if I actually grab these. That's what I need to do. Let's go ahead and grab these off of the base color. Let's get back in the roll. And hit that. And what I'll do is I'll make another layer that we'll actually put the lenses in of the goggles and stuff. And that's where, like, a lot of the line art for the hair isn't going to be in there because it's going to be kind of faded out the way it's going to have sort of a tint to it, and kind of give it a neat look. We'll play with that. Make sure we grab any of these little artifacts and stuff that sometimes pop up or don't completely get pulled in. That way we got a nice clean coloring to it. And let's bring that over a little bit more of a warmer color with the sunlight. Even though it's a shadow, we want it to kind of still make it a little bit warmer. And we'll play with it. We'll see what we come up with. And let's go ahead and add a layer. And we'll mask outside the layer. We'll just label that. Let's see. Goggles. Shadows. Perfect. Oops. Missed the G. I did miss the L in it. Perfect. Much better. Okay. Now let's hit some Let's see how this tint comes out. That might not look totally right. That does have a little bit better coloring to it. It's not so flat. That's something we want to try and avoid. We want to avoid that, it kind of looking dull and flat. So we want to kind of keep a little bit of vibrance to it, even though it's a shadow. So we could leave a little bit of the flatness into it just to kind of add a little bit of a trimming or highlighting to it. Let's see here. Got an interesting little music going on. Looks good. Thank you, Bri. Let's see here. For other layers, let's see if we just hop that in. Now what we can do is we can kind of give these guys a little bit more of a dimension to them. Let's see how it comes out, how it looks. It might not look the way we want it to, but let's see. Let's see how it kind of looks. It might not fit out well. Let's see. Maybe it's just not matching the right line, the line we're wanting to work with. Let's clean that up a little bit and let's go back over it. There we go. That's a little bit better. Alright. So we got that. See, they kind of roll in. So maybe along the top line here, the way the goggles usually have a little bit of a roll here, we might put a little bit of a line up here as well. That way you can see like the lens area that's definitely darkened is definitely highlighted. Or it's definitely recessed is what we want. Recessed is the word. Oops. Messed that up. Maybe I need to go down to a 6 so that way I'm not accidentally pressing too hard sometimes. Alright. We'll roll it over this way as well. Okay. Not too shabby. And let's just... And of course we're going to add some effects to once we get the shadows, the highlights done in, we'll add some effects to it that really bring it out and try and make it pop a little bit more. Which is always a good plus. Alright. Let's see. Catch that little corner. This one we're going to have, instead of it on that side like that, we're going to have to bring it over on this side, so we'll have to have this guy look like he creeps out. Come on. There we go. So let's see if we can bring it on up. No, looks like I got somebody already spamming me. Let's see if we can clean that mess up. Hope I didn't have to do that, but sometimes you do. Let's see here. Let's go to my YouTube thing. Yep, it happens sometimes. So maybe I'll go in and let's hide. And let's remove. And let's remove. Always got to have somebody. There we are. Much better. It happens. So. have to go into the settings and have it more to where it catches more of those. Let's see if I can do some adjustments real quick. There we go. Well, my magic has yet to win a game. 0-4, worse in the Eastern Conference. 3 teams in the Western Conference haven't won a game. All the games are close, just didn't pull off any wins. Yeah, nuts. Well, that sucks. Hopefully they'll get a little bit better. Sorry if I'm getting you guys a little dizzy, spinning around trying to get the right angle. And I think what we're going to do is we might actually darken the inner parts a little bit more. Let's give it a little bit more of a yellow to it. Yeah. Maybe we'll. That sucks. Hopefully they'll get a little bit better. Let me close my YouTube thing up now. I don't need that in the background. Perfect. All right. So. All right. Those aren't coming out too bad. Let's go ahead and let's try that. That's a little bit better. Now it looks like we caught all the corners. I don't think we got anything missed. A little bit right there. Lasso tool and see if we can pop that sucker in. Alright, doesn't look too bad. So let's. And these guys, as we go, will get transferred down. I staying busy with the plumbing and leaves falling. Burning leaves. I had to log in, didn't think I logged out. Oh, well, I'm glad that everything's still moving and leaves are falling up there. Burning leaves. Okay. Well, we've had pretty decent weather down here. It's been pretty mild ourselves, so I must say it's been quite enjoyable. Alright, so we got that. Let's maybe let's go this way. Give a little bit of a lighter brown. We'll add a little bit of yellowing to this as well. And we'll maybe give show a little bit of curve there for it popping out. Excellent. That doesn't look bad at all. Light's hitting over on this side, so we're just going to really catch a little bit. We might actually remove some of that there. No, we'll leave it on. What we'll do is we'll hit it with the highlights. For the highlight side, 7575F. You're pushing a bunch of stuff there, Frontier Man. So let's pop this back up to, go 10. So, and let's see. I also got to give a little shout out when we go to my Instagram account real quick, because told him I would do this definitely. On my Instagram, I have one of my followers and stuff on there is Liam GFX Designer. She does some. She's from Canada. Or Canada based designer, graphic designer. Does a bunch of neat stream overlays, some logos, some branding stuff. So if you're looking for somebody who has a neat edgy look of art pieces to it, be sure to check her out. So she does some cool stuff as well. If that's the style you're looking for. So, and I'll have to let's see. Got a message. There you go. Let's see. Give that a cleaner line. And I know you can do a bunch of 75 degrees for a high today. Yeah, ours was 82 or 83, I think today. Ours was the high. So it's a little bit warm. This week's been a little bit warmer. Last week was even cooler. So, and of course, I think we're supposed to get hit again with another front. So I think this weekend we're supposed to get a little bit before Halloween. So let's run this down a little bit. Maybe we'll curl it up a little bit more. There you go. That feels like it follows that shape a little bit better to it. And this side's going to be, whoops, help if I grab the actual right too. Boo on more cold. I don't mind. In the morning it isn't too bad. It's not like, it hasn't gotten bone chilling up here. Out here. It's just been nice and cool. So it has been nice not having the AC running a lot, of keeping the electric costs down. Especially the way they keep bumping the price up on things. That is a good thing to that. Got to find the positive in it. So, there we go. Alright, here, let's... Alright, there we go. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And this isn't going to have really too much shadowing at all on the top half there. That's going to end up having highlights once we get to it. That feels pretty good. Alright, so let's grab this and let's move this down. See if we can pop them both together. Alright, so let's go back to here. And let's see if we can add in all of the goodies to this. Get all of that, and we're going to stick it all in one mask. That way we're not throwing tons and tons of layers out there. And we'll just work it from all angles. Don't have to be that, we don't have to be that crazy with the layers. I get that way sometimes. I forget and I'm just start going nuts. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll put that one just for goggles. Help if I can type. That and my wireless keyboard turns off every now and then. Oh, what do you got? Yeah, ridiculous. Everything keeps going up water to your rear. They bump it up. Yeah, I know. Gotta love that part. Let me go back here to the feed. Alright. Make sure we have that. Okay, so we got that going on. Let's work on... Let's hop around here a little bit. Maybe we'll work on... Let's get back to this, to the actual shadows for the skin. That would be good to do. Let's see. Actually, let me see what this looks like if we do darken on it. The darken, I think, gives a little bit better of a... Yeah, it gives a better effect to it. Sweet. Alright, so we got that. Got that. We're going to have the way the light's hitting down at the front right. We're going to have a brightness there. Might have a little bit... Probably have a little bit here for the hair. We'll probably want to run the hair over with another layer to where it darkens out even more. So let's work on some of the product there. And let's see, we're going to have, where the light hits, we'll have a shadow on the top half here, and maybe a little bit of dark area. So maybe we'll run a little bit dark up top. And over here we'll have to run the shadow along the beads on the bathing suit. Should you see hair through the goggles? Yeah, what I was talking about earlier is I'm actually going to be doing a separate layer for the entire lens, or I'm actually going to be doing a painted area for the hair through there, but the lenses are going to be tinted, so they're going to have sort of like a sunglass look to where you're not going to really see too much detail in there, but you'll see a color differentiation in there. So that'll help play it out through there a little bit better on the coloring for the goggles. And I think my camera's beeping at me because it's I have it turned on for later on, about a half hour. We're going to we'll start working on the snorkel guy. We'll work from there. Let's get some of the this other stuff up here, the ear and whatnot. So let's run this in. But yeah, no, I thought about trying to do the hair in there, but I didn't want it coming through too much. We might actually do a couple of line art pieces on it, but we'll probably do it in a darker yellow, almost like a brownish color. So that way it kind of blends a little bit more to it. I just saw on the base color area, we got to do, I just saw a spot there that I missed because it probably didn't catch the artifact on it. So we need to fill that part in. Perfect. Alright, now we go back to this skin. Alright, yeah. But yeah, good point out front, Terraman, on that. That's what we're going to do to make it look, to kind of give it the effect that we want. So, I'm getting messages everywhere now. Ah, just eBay. More eBay. eBay constantly sending me messages. Let's put a little bit of spot here for that hair. And we're going to have a little bit of light there. We'll have a little bit of dark here where the eyelid curls up underneath. And we'll probably put a little bit up here as well. Let's see here. Let's clean that area now. And let's see. Cool. But yeah, so like I was saying earlier, I probably won't be on Tuesday because as long as everything goes the way it's going to go, we'll probably be down over in, visiting my grandmother. See make sure she's doing okay and let her know we care about her and we're thinking of her. So, like I said, if I do one, you might not have the webcam piece for the overlay section there. That actually might be turned off because I won't have it with me. I'll bring my computer though with me, so that way we can still do some drawing stuff. We just won't have where you can see me, unless I hook up my cell phone or one of my other camera rigs and take it along with me, and we do it that way. So, but give her a chance. Maybe she'll see how she'll get to see a live stream. That'll be pretty cool for her. Who knows? Maybe I'll grab some pictures and stuff. Maybe that's what I'll do also while I'm there. Maybe maybe I'll do, that would be pretty neat. Maybe I'll do a drawing of, I'll sketch. I'll do turn my grandmother into an anime. Do her. Maybe I'll find a picture of Grandpa. Grandpa's passed away, but maybe I'll do that and we'll make a cartoon out of him. We'll have some fun with him. That's depends on how she's feeling. See if she's up or whatnot. So, okay, so we kind of have a little bit that way. I don't like the way that curves down. I want it to curve up a little bit. Maybe we'll just make a little bit thinner of an area piece to that. Let's see, how deep do we want to go with the cheeks? Because on these type of drawings, that sounds cool. Yeah, put her first. Yeah, we'll have some fun with it. With this piece here, it's not going to be hyper realistic because it's kind of an anime or a manga cartoon design. So it's kind of has a simplified look to it and appeal to it. So we might, because typically you would run and you would do like cheek stuff down here, and you'd run the cheekbone, the bone structure and everything to it. Like if you saw with the lighting there on mine, you can see the underside of the cheekbone structure. So we're not going to, probably won't do that. We'll probably run a little lower part here for the chin because we want to keep it simplified and work more on the aesthetic of it. That's why I like it's also why I like the face. The mouth doesn't have like a normal person's mouth would have. Like if they would smile, it wouldn't have like a ton of teeth to that effect. So let's hit that, run that down. So because you want to keep a bone structure and everything up to that effect of things, but at the same time you want to match to the style, the design style on it. It's just like doing some of the older cartoons. I have a picture with Mem on my motorcycle. Cool. I know, I remember that. Some good experiences on that. Excellent. So we got that. We might actually run a side piece down here, but the way the light's hitting at an angle, we'll probably do that though. And we'll probably actually make that a little bit better instead of just running a line down it. The way the eyes will roll. We'll run them that way. Let's see if we can. We'll bring it down. That might be too thick. We'll play with that. And like I said, this is all getting some good, just to start to get it, keep fleshing it out. When I first did this drawing and stuff with the sketch portion of it, I focused mainly on the skeletal structure, then looked at maybe doing looked at the muscle structure of things, and went from there to more like what the skin would be, of how the skin would be on the person. Whoops, got the wrong tool on. There we go. So, and that's the basis of it. You want to have a nice strong foundation first, so that when you build on it, you will see when something does not look right at all on it versus something that does, and you can just work from there and see. And that helps. Strong foundation, you'll be able to work your way all the way through. Okay, let's run that way. We'll give this a little. Give it a little runoff for that. Okay, and let's see here. This one is probably going to have more of a shadow onto it, the way the lighting is over here and the way her face is tilted slightly. So we'll probably run it over. Let's bring it down. Now I might do a little bit of, like for some of the effects like I was talking about, might be some airbrushing and soften some pieces out. So Marissa's on drawing. Grab some water here. Alright, work on this for about 20 more minutes. 8 o'clock hits and we'll flip it over and we'll put the hand drawing stuff on. We'll have some fun with that. So here we want to fill this part in. There we go. Maybe we'll have it match that line flow. We'll round that out a little bit more. Let's see. Oh, come on. They just did an update. I wasn't sure actually if I was going to be able to use Clip Studio today, because they just released an update that I didn't get the chance to see until when I was starting to come in here to get the live stream set up. So I was like, well, maybe it might be just doing nothing but hand drawing today. So I think I'm going to move this little normal light skin there for like the way the light's coming in. I might move this over, so maybe I might take a little bit more out here. I might run this up a little bit and maybe bring a little bit more over on the back side here. So see how that play out. Look at it from a distance. A lot of it is putting on and taking away. Putting on, taking away. Let's see if we can. So we can get it to where it looks right. Axmed. Alright. Oh, cool. I appreciate you guys that are following along and hitting the like stuff and whatnot. Getting little notifications on all my all my electronic devices around me, so I really appreciate it, guys. There we go. And you'll notice also when I started doing this design, there's this mesh net here. So what I did is I added a little bit of skin to a grayish color for the mesh, but like over here, it's also the sky that'll be the background. We're going to start doing a couple little tiny things to that. That type of stuff we'll keep adding on into it to where kind of really give it a nice detailed but simple look to it. So, all right. Okay, so we got shapes. Maybe we'll run it this way. Trying to see how it will look all the way across. Yeah, probably go down like that. And the way it curls also. There we are. We'll probably bring it up there and we'll run it down and then we'll clean it up. Let's see what we go with. And like I said, this is just an initial shadow highlights and we can go back in and we'll do a little bit more detail work on it and start cleaning up more to it and give a little bit more life to it. She looks awesome. I think so. I think she's starting to come out pretty good. I was trying to hit sort of a... at first I was looking at like, well, maybe I'll make it look sort of like a little, like a retro picture, you know, because I could, and that's sort of why I came up with the colors that I did, because I remember back, you know, it doesn't seem like long to me, but like 80s and 90s, they had like bright colors like that, like all this stuff was to it, and so kind of did that with it, but then I was like, when I did the scuba tank, I kind of looked, I was like, well, you know what, I went and did some references for like the scuba tank for the back side of it, and this was like a neat new technology type scuba tank to where they had it to where it looks sort of like a neat rigid backpack with a soft mesh front with the straps. So I was like, well, that actually looks pretty cool. So we went with that. So it has a little bit of a retro-ish feel to it. Let's see here. Run this in. And let's see here. Oh, I missed. I hopped away and I forgot I needed to clean up the beads. They're not going to be completely round, but we want it to look somewhat round. And you want it to feel like they're actually slightly elevated off. These guys are going to be a little bit closer than the other one. Retro is cool. Yes, it is. I like it. I saw they just released the new episodes of the toys. The toys are, it was like the Toys That Made Us or something. I can't remember the name of the TV series that was on it, but I remember watching it where it had neat stuff on all the old vintage retro toys, which those guys, I got a ton of them in my workshop. Those guys are actually, I'm going to be getting them pictures taken of them, and I'm going to start posting them, and it's time for somebody else to start to enjoy some of those pieces and stuff that I got out there. I'll keep a couple of them, special ones for my daughter, but other than that, I need to make some space for it, because we're looking at adding on in there, because work has been, the aircraft stuff, I went from, I have like, everybody's wanting to have custom panels done up now. So I'm going to have a lot of CAD work done, and of course some of our laser cutting guys and whatnot aren't either here anymore, or they're just swamped themselves. So we were talking, my boss and me, who happens to be my good friend, was talking to me, and we were talking about maybe about adding on some stuff to it. So I was looking at, you know, that might be a good outlet for some other art and design pieces that we can do. Not to mention it'll actually play in with a lot of what I'm doing right now for trying to have more of an art career. And with my neck and my spine starting to work, actually, everything's starting to heal. I'm able to start doing more and more. So let's see, we got a curve. Kind of runs in. Look at the. I should have took a picture back when I had the construction lines in. So I think we'll run it that way. Run this in like that. Let's see how that looks. Maybe we'll clean up, take some more of that out once we get it shadowed in. And so So we'll see. Try to put complex curves in a simplified form. Simple but complex, that's what we're trying to keep. I will tell you this, my little fan system that I put on my table here has been working out really well. I've been liking that a whole lot more. So let's run it down. Let's see here. Down in. And this will start to have maybe a curve to that. Let's clean that up and we'll take a look at it from a distance and see what we got. Like I said, we're going to be doing some other effects to it, but we just want to get a basis. Yeah, we're going to have to layer that. And we're going to have to do more color layers for that piece, for this section. Maybe we'll bring it not so high up. Maybe we'll soften that curve out a little bit more. That looks a little bit better. Maybe a little bit lower even. Like I said, build up, take some down. And let's see, actually we want to take it down probably about to there. About that height. There we go. Build up. It's actually just cut that all the way through. And let's see what we want to go with that. We'll go that way because it's going to curve back up the way the chest runs. It's a little bit better. Good news hearing about work. Yep. Oh yeah, I went from slow and quiet, boss said, so I said a little prayer. Next thing you know, I'm backed up to I think about March now. I have a Cessna 195, which is a neat old rotary overhead wing Cessna, which is really cool. I put some pictures on Facebook and Instagram of that. It's bright yellow and blue. It looks really nice and slick. We're going to be doing some G5 systems for that. I have a Piper Seminole that I've just finished doing the wiring on. I'm waiting for the plane to be done with some students doing a check ride in it. And then I'm putting in a new audio panel, new GPS, Navcom and that, new transponder. And putting in a SkyTrack system for that also, so you can see the other aircrafts. Yeah, amen is right. And we did that, and then from there, I have a Cessna 172 that I did a little bit of work on that they're putting a G500, actually putting a glass panel in. But in order to do that, we're going to have to do a complete custom overlay, so I'm going to have to redo the entire panel on it. So I'm going to do a CAD for that along with all the wiring blueprints of it, which is going to be very extensive because it's got quite a bit of gear that goes with it. So, got that. I'll actually probably do a video of it when I get over there. But I will be going back to the Warbird Museum because once I get done with the Cessna 195, I did some work on the C-47, the World War II Tycho Bell. I did some avionics work for her, and I'll be going back in to put an HSI system in to it for another nav source off of that. The owner of the Cessna 195 is donating his HSI system he's pulling out to go into that, which is going to be really cool. So you'll get to see some neat Warbird pics of that and some video. Kind of get to see what it looks like under the, as you could say, under the hood for that, because the nose of it actually does lift up so you can get to the back side of the avionics without having to pull out the whole panel like you would on a standard. But it's really cool. She's a big old bird, big old girl. Maybe I'll do a little, like I said, do a little bit of video of the Warbird Museum so you guys can get a peek of that as well. And I'll post that up. So Pierre has been busy for the people who have asked me, because I dropped the video on, I think, Facebook and Instagram, and I think I even did TikTok, where of him coming by and saying hi in his F-104, his Starfighter. Unfortunately, my camera that I was using had that stabilizing system on it, so even though I tracked him okay, the camera started to pan back because it wasn't tracking as fast as what I was wanting it to. So I had to turn that off to see. But he hasn't been around to be able to catch another shot of him. I might actually shoot him a message and see if he can give him maybe one of my action cameras when he goes to go up. And maybe if he can, or he'll do it, we'll get a picture of it from the cockpit view and from outside when he comes to do a pass by. And that way we'll do a double video where you can see him inside the cockpit shooting by overhead of me and see from the ground what it looks like. That's always that'd be a cool thing. But another cool guy, nice person that I know. Really a nice guy. So he had a birthday just this past week, so got to have happy birthday to him. I already messaged him also on it, but we'll post that on here too. All right, give that a little bit of shadowing. That's starting to look a little better. Making some progress. Progress is always good. A little shadow in there, a little shadow in there. Have to put a little, oops, clean that little. We'll run a little shadow up for the show. A little bit of layer thickness on the bathing suit. That's right, we'll go a little bit thick and then we'll just cut it down. Main thing is we get the deviation line clean on it to where it looks beautiful through there. There we go. So that when we look at it from a distance on it. Excellent. And I better go up here and add this color to my color palette. This is all I do, just add it on real quick. That way, in case I need to get to it, I can. Go ahead and take Sharon back into bits. She looks great. Thanks, Brian. We'll see you in a few, brother. Alright, let's see here. So now we got the bottom of the elbow. We have the bicep area. So we want to run this head a little bit down there, the way the form comes down. So we want to accent down there is what we want to get. But she's not, so we'll have a little bit. Actually, let me get off the color palette. Go back to the other layer. Let me make sure I good. Go back to the shadows. Go to the right one on it. So maybe we'll hit that way, and we will run it up, like the bicep area. There we go. And of course, as it comes back down, you'll have some lighting here. So I'll have the sun overhead. Let's see. Comes through. We might cut that down a little bit to get a bit more showing of the light through. So that doesn't look bad. This guy we can curl up a little bit more because of the way the shoulder runs. Alright. So hit this guy up. Alright, we got that. We'll have shadow back here because of the way the hair is. It really makes a difference. Oh yeah, it does. Once it starts to goes from a flat, that's the whole part of the coloring and stuff on it. Instead of drawing also all the lines or doing hash marks like you can do for some other type of style medium, this tries to start to give a little bit of depth into it. So, and it's important that you do it right. It's always good to practice with it, with lighting and whatnot. There's actually a neat app that I have on my phone that I use sometimes called Handy. If not, I have different references, which are always good, like the skull here. And I'll use my light up ahead there. It's where you can see how it reflects and hits down, and where, like your eyebrow portion here, how this actually gets a little bit of a shadow to it. and how the jaw, like where the teeth are and stuff, you see how you get a nice light area and then you get a little bit of a dark area. Like for here, like for her her chin actually area, and is we could actually do a little something like that if we even wanted to give her like a button chin. So, but I'm trying to keep it a little bit thinner because we're going to do a slot. We're going to do a little bit of a we're going to do a texture for the lips is what we're going to do on a separate layer, and we're going to add a little bit more effects, sort of like what I did with the eye detail, where I've added a little bit. I got to do the right eye also for that, but I started working on the left eye. I started working on the right eye the other night. Oops, hit my button to raise the table up. All right, let's go. Let's bump the eraser up a little bit more. We chop a little bit more off of that. And we'll give this a smoother curve to kind of get more of the look. That's perfect. And it goes up, so like when it's up, when the light hits. Okay. And of course we need to put a little, we got a little bit of light there, but we'll want to run this up also. See how we want to do this. Let's just fill it in, and we'll go from that. We'll work from there. We'll fill it in and remove as we go. So this guy, we probably want to do just a little bit, maybe something like so. And I think we'll keep up here is where it'll start to get really dark, is where we'll leave most of it shadowed. And we will take a little bit of hatching in. Actually, we'll bring it, fill a little bit back out. And this up here will be much more in the shadow. She is left-handed. Is that because of the bracelet? I'm Mike. I think I'm like one of the goofy left-handed people. Because I think when I wore a watch, back when I wore a watch, I wore it on my left hand. And so it was kind of the weird thing that everybody thought I was right-handed all the time, but I really wasn't. Let me chop that down a little bit tighter to where I can get a cleaner line. Alright. Oh, the knife. Yeah, the knife on the bottom. That's correct. That is another telltale of it. That's right. I put it on the left leg. No cross draw there. A good eye. Okay, so we'll bring this guy up to what size we need him. He's already at a 20. Alright, so we're going to get, got to figure out for the lighting, maybe this way. Run the lighting that way. Let's see here. Oh, come on. I will tell you, since they did the update, it doesn't go into recovery mode so much for the saving. Yeah. Yep, no cross draw there. Let's see. Let's hit that. We want to bring this down as well. Now this is going to, what we're going to do here is, this is just to kind of get an idea for that, because we're going to put another layer for some more shadowing. This won't just have a single shadowing like some of the simpler cartoons that I did, where it had a base, a shadow, and a light. This is going to have a little bit more varying degree gradients and stuff on it. So, and of course we're going to have the rib cage is going to be this way up and then down. So we're going to have a little bit of a light difference here. And it's going to bring this back up. Let's see, we can... This guy's going to be not so sharp. We're going to make it a little bit soft is what we'll do. There we go. And from here we got a rib cage that runs this way as well. So, like that. Let's... Oh, 8 o'clock. I should be stopping and going moving over to the hand-drawn stuff. We'll work on the guy. So let me just get this kind of squared away, and we'll go from there on over. So that way we're not just stuck just doing digital stuff all the time. There we go. Just gonna have that. We'll probably bring this up as well, because the way the rib cage rolls down a little bit, it's not going to be so strong, but it's going to have a definite piece to it. So we'll just get that kind of lined up, because we'll have to work on the abdominal area and whatnot. Let's see, we'll hit some of the easy shade spots. And all right. You hit the save button here, and turn my mouse back on. All right. So what I'm going to do with this, with the guys, we're going to actually work from him from scratch. So you're going to get this one. You kind of saw a picture of one of the progress on it. This one, when I go to start him, we're going to start him from scratch. So I got some reference shots of some ideas I want to do with it. We don't need to save the warm-up drawing pad, the drawing piece. Let's see here. We will go, let me move this out of the way. Put this over here on my other table. I'll put that glove up there. And I'll hit quit. And it should flip over to my overhead camera, which is good. Let me go and hit the section for that. That way it transfers that over. And throw that off to the side and do a little flip up. There we go. You get to see exactly how well the little piece that I designed for me to be able to draw here will work. And that is this guy. So I'm going to put him, he sits right on, he fits pretty much perfectly over the top. And that's why I got my wireless keyboard down here, so that way I can do anything I need to check up on that. And what we'll do is we'll grab my reference pictures and we'll put him up here. And as we can see, this was the sketch that I did of the scuba girl. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to a clean page, and we're going to do some hand drawing and do some sketching out and see if we can do some cleanup. Put on my other glove on. Grab my little Derwent graphite pencil, kneaded eraser piece, and of course the brush. Use this to keep the oils off of the page and prevent the graphite from smearing. And instead of doing that, if you have an erase piece, you go like that. Good thing. Okay. So I was thinking about maybe, I was going to have him to where he's down, maybe he's like holding on to his shoulder, but I think I might actually have him to where he's not only doing that, but maybe have him to where he's like looking over, because this is going to be, these pieces, like I said, are going to be, let me grab them real quick and I'll go to the big chat screen so you can see me. These are actually going to be on these picture frames I got from the estate sale. They're 10" by 20". So they'll have a, these guys will come up and fill a big portion of it, but I got 2 of them. So when I hang them up, they'll be hung up close to each other like that. And I was thinking about maybe having her that way, maybe have him looking at her, one way or the other, depending on how I do the design piece. That way it kind of correlates it. I'll merge the background together to where it looks like one big piece, but when you hang it up on the wall, you'll have a section that's open from it. Kind of provides that implied lines and stuff through it. So anyway, let's go back to the live section. Alright, we got all that. So let's see here. Let's probably go ahead and put him. Now you notice when I'm drawing with this, I'm not holding it or choking up on it like that. I'm not not like that where you're working on little fine details, because right now we're going to start loose. So I'll put it to where I'm not choked. Even though this pencil is almost done, and I'll go to a new one in a little bit. I kind of keep it loose. Sometimes, like if you do outside stuff, you'll hold it like this to where you can actually work on it more this way, that way, and you can do full strokes with your whole elbow and shoulder to where you can do cleaner lines, and you can actually work straight lines more like so. So, any little drawing tip. So let's see here. Maybe we'll do that type of turn for the head. So we'll have it towards like we'll do like it'll almost be like a profile a little bit. Almost a full profile shot. We'll add a little bit of a 3/4 to it. So let's see if we can get that piece will be there. We'll run to where he has sort of like he's looking over that way. We'll have it to where we can see a little bit of his face still. And for him, we want to run it up. He's going to be, we're going to probably make him a little bit taller, so we'll probably give him a slight angle to it, like he's leaning forward or looking down. And the nice thing about these graphite pencils, some people use like regular 2B pencils, which are good and whatnot, but especially for sketching. But the nice thing is you take a kneaded eraser like this, and you literally can just kind of go. It doesn't leave any marks on it. You can actually mat down on it, and it picks up the line. So I think we're going to do that. We'll do the head. Probably run that way. Give him a little more of a pronounced jaw as a guy. Let's see here. Give him the ear, give him more of got a chin, a little bit more of a pronounced chin. It's not so smooth and supple. Bring the cheek up a little bit more. And of course, your cranium, when you see I got my bandana, you can see how tall the cranium is versus where the eye, the nose, the mouth to the chin is. So if you look at this is where my eyebrow is, my chin is, and you go up, you notice that it's like the same height. So a lot of people they'll draw and they'll have it like down here. So you'll have a cranium that only looks about that tall. You want to make sure you have at least a cranium in there. You want to have that. You want to have that brain. So when we work on it, he doesn't need to look like Megamind, but you definitely want him to have a cranium to him. And don't forget also we're going to have hair and whatnot to him as well. So we'll do the eye hole here, and we'll do an eye socket here. And at this angle, the nice thing at this angle is we'll have the nose runs about here, eyes, and then you have the mouth runs about there. Yeah, lowrider brain. Yeah, a lot of people when they sketch or they draw and stuff, it's always if you don't give him that, it looks like he's got like this much of a top on it, and then his hairline's here. When realistically your hairline's up here. So, and that will also play into like the whole like, whoa. Now you'll notice like in the style that I'm kind of doing it as an anime manga, they're going to have a little bit more of a distance here sometimes especially in the 3/4, because you're working more on aesthetic. So the skull is definitely a simplified version. So I think I'm probably going to give and this way, and he's going to actually kind of curl up there. And they definitely have more of a masculine neck. Of course, your neck connects on here back, behind the ear. It goes down with the traps and stuff. So we'll run him, and of course it comes up, and doesn't have to have a massive thick neck, but give him a little bit of an athletic look to him. Because after all, if he's going to be a snorkeler, he's going to be slim. We'll give that kind of a head to it. I might have given him too big of a head. We might have to work it down a little bit. But that's the nice thing about when we do the sketch and drawing like this. We will be able to take it, scan it, and then I can do some adjustments on there if I want to. It's not like this is a smaller page. It's not like a 10 by 20 inch page that I'm doing it to where I'm matching it with the scale. So I'd have the lines laid out for the 8 roll. My hairline is in the back. Well, your hairline where it was at is there. So, okay. So let's see here. Let me grab a couple other reference hits. Maybe, actually we'll have his head turned, but we'll give them a little bit of a dynamic feel to it. Instead of it just looking like that, where it looks like he's really at an angle, we're going to actually give him, or his neck will twist. So we'll actually give this guy to be this way, and this guy will actually be this way, like he's actually turning his neck instead of his whole body. So now I'm putting in some of the construction lines so you can see like how the muscles will actually of your neck will actually roll in and come down here to your clavicle area. So, and we want it to kind of be dynamic, so we don't want it. We'll want him to kind of have a little bit of a give him the eyebrow area so you can kind of see where his eyebrows will be at about. We want to have, when you do a body, you'll have a position of an angle this way. We might put the shoulders maybe this way or give him a little bit that way, and then maybe we'll tilt his hip a little bit the opposite direction. Gives it a little bit more of a feel of a weight to it. So let's we'll give it sort of like this, and not too high. This will be the clavicle area. And of course, being he's a guy, his rib cage is going to be bigger compared to his waist. Where on a female, their waist is their hip is a little bit wider than like their span is what it will be to that. So do a little, and of course, now a lot of people do squares and rectangles and stuff for showing up for basic shape areas and stuff. This is not a rectangle. If anything, it's a cylinder. Anything. But it's a cylinder that's blown out in the middle, so it kind of has a slight curve and a bulge to it. So when we do them, you'll take like the rib cage, the way it runs up, it's going to run this sort of like this. So we're going to run it just like so. And you also got to see that he's going to have, going to do this way. So we got the curve this way for the shoulders. So if we do it up that way, we want to do the hips like we'll have this. We'll have the hips probably going the opposite direction a little bit. So got that area the way it runs. And you have a area for the waist. And as you can see how loose I'm playing with this, because like I said, this is going to get shaped. Might not look totally at the beginning, but we're working on the structure. We're working on the foundation of it. We get the foundation built up on it. Be good to go. So, and of course we'll have mid-waist areas, belly button area will be right about here. So we'll have set of items this way. Of course we're going to have obliques that will roll through. They won't be that deep in. They'll be about there for muscle structure. So you'll have another set here. Have a set that runs down. And of course obliques typically will run this way and then in. And the hips will be at that type of an angle. So that way you have that sort of dynamic feel. You got this kind of curves into this. So this side's going to have a slight crunch to it. It's going to be more curved that way. This is going to have more of a stretch to it because it's going to show that this is curved up a little bit. See? So, all right, go that way. So down, top of the hip structure. You can. The other thing is when the abs and everything runs down, even on the female and stuff, and the abs come in, it's not going to be just flat. They always have a slight curve to them. So there's a little bit need lighting because of light drawing. Yeah, I know. If I hit this too high, it ends up washing it out a little bit too much, I think. And if I put it too low, I think you end up losing it. So let me I've been playing with this, trying to figure out the best way to do the lighting. That one seems to come in a little bit nicer. So, Brian, I'm back. He's looking great. Oh, thanks, brother. But yeah, I've been playing with the lighting a little bit on it. I think I'm going to change up to this guy. I saw a light that I like to where I can mount it, and it's a bar light, an LED bar light that hangs off of a better arm that I might be able to do to where it'll give more of an even lighting down to it. So we're going to work on that. So we want, of course, we'll do hip. Hip area. And of course, we're going to have, we'll probably have this leg forward. So what we'll do, and this leg will be a little bit further back, so we'll have him sort of running through, and of course you'll see this guy will also be a little bit up higher. This one's going to be a little bit lower because the way the hip is going to run. So, and of course, pec areas, and they do not always touch. So, the more you work on the pick, it gets easier to see. Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. You when you're doing all this, you don't want to dig into it as you're trying to discover the shape or the line area to it. So, and that's the thing. That's why you work like I'm doing with the pencil and stuff to this. So, we'll put this arm forward, and maybe we'll put this one like he's maybe hand in pocket. I don't know. We'll work on something like that. Maybe he's holding a spear or something to that. We'll probably have, maybe he's doing some, like I said, snorkeling, and maybe he'll have a basket or a net that he's got with the stuff that he's got from snorkeling. We'll work on that. And of course, guys' arms are different, or they're not different, but they're shaped to where they actually have a little bit more of a feel to it, and the elbow actually goes right about just right where below the rib area and stuff to the waist. So you'll have your elbow that way. So if you got a guy that you're doing that's going to be muscular, so that way he doesn't look like the Michelin Man or blimped out sometimes, you're going to give him his bicep area. Run this way, bicep hit that way, tricep. This is where the elbow area will be. And you almost always will have the forearm. The forearm, you'll notice as you bend in, elbow to here, here to here, the joint is about practically almost the same width. So you can actually do this, your finger, you can get a rough idea. Or if you need to, you can use your pencil, hit that for a line area, hit that for a line area, and kind of gauge where you want them to land at. So that way when you actually do the hand, or the arm, the bottom part for the arm. And of course, you're going to have a little bit of a forearm. That's going to be right here. To see how it curves down and in, and this is kind of flat. It's got a little bit of a bump to it. So we're going to work that in. And of course, you can't forget the elbow. The actual, it's not all skin and softness. You're going to have a little bit of bony structure there as well that you'll see, just like on the outside of it, you'll see a little bit of a bony structure as well, depending on the angle that you're doing. So you don't want to forget that you're actually got to show those. And of course, these males have some lats, or at least most males do. So we don't want this guy to look bodybuilder, but we want him to look like somebody who's definitely does a lot of swimming and aquatic stuff to it, because you got to make them match and be believable to the scene you're putting them in. So we'll do this. The pec areas run off of the clavicle area, and the clavicle runs through here. And of course, we got our neck that runs clavicle area, pectoral area, and we got the other shoulder being, it's going to be lowered a little bit. This guy's going to have a little bit more of a bulge, because it's going to be your trap pulling up a little bit. So you're going to have one side that's going to come up. You see, when you do that, it bulges out. So we'll have a little bit of a bulge for that, like he's bringing his arm up. This one's going to be a little bit smoother, being the shoulder's going to be down. That way it feels a little bit more natural to it. And this is a good line-up area for the arm. So we're going to put the arm this way. And we want it to, the pec to come down this way. Ribcage muscle structure. The bicep, tricep, the upper head of the tricep runs in. Lower part runs here. And this one's actually going to curve. This one's, the hand's going to be here. Might as well get this. So hand's not completely a box. It kind of has a curve the way your knuckles are. It's a curve. So we're going to have that, and then we'll have for your knuckle to there. It doesn't have that much of a distance for your area for where your thumb will be. And a little trick, even though you have a joint here, and a joint here for your thumb and all your fingers, in an aesthetic view and for it to look pleasing when you do a drawing piece, if you kind of keep it all as one and kind of give it a bean look to it, it feels smoother. It feels more like here's be the first, and then here, instead of doing the two that you would, like if you did it this way and then put a second one in, if instead you basically had the first to the first knuckle, and then you just did a straight to the second, and you kept it straight, it'll feel a lot more to it. Oh, I got more YouTube goodies on there. Let me block the other YouTube people. Definitely getting attention now, so let's hide that. There we go. Perfect. Hot girls here. He looks awesome. Thank you, Brian. Okay, so do that, and of course have the other knuckle here. Now the other thing is when you look at your fingers and stuff, if you do it that way, you'll notice they are different height. But most time when we do drawings and stuff, and you look at it open, these two guys are really similar. These two guys will be slightly shorter. That's a simple way to, another simple way to make the hands look more natural and smoother by doing two that way, and then doing two at a shorter distance. And of course, the way the hand is going to curl, the curve, your hand isn't just flat like that. It's going to have a natural curve and curl to it. So as the knuckles run, they'll run that way. So we got that basically put in. And let's see here. Got a little bit of hair. A little bit of doggo hair. So run that. got the elbow area. So got the outer point there, the little hard point for the elbow piece. We want to run him to where he looks like he's actually, you see if I actually put him from there to there, he's going to run down in here a little bit. So we're going to have the hand curled here. So we'll have the hand where it looks like he's going into like his, maybe his bathing suit, or we might have him holding, like I said, we still might have him holding something. I don't know. We might move this, we actually might move this arm out a little bit more. So let's run from that. Going to have a little bit of a foreshortening to it, because this arm's going to be, instead of it being straight here, it's going to be pulled back a little bit. So this part's actually going to go back to a small, and then it's going to get a little bit large again. So we'll run from that way to that. So that's the reason why it doesn't, we'll go through here and we'll clean up this line. So we want to, and it looks kind of plain the way he's standing. Maybe, I think I might actually do something different with that hand. I think what I might do is, I think I know that's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and just clear this real quick. We'll probably keep the shoulder down a little bit, like that. And we might actually, instead we might actually run it out here to where we can, maybe we'll bring it up a little bit higher. We'll give it a little bit of foreshortening. You'll see a bit more of the elbow. So we'll run it that way. And we'll run it to here. So it comes out a little bit. This will be the elbow area. Yeah, we'll do that for the elbow area. About to there, we'll have a forearm running across. Maybe we'll bring his arm up about to here, because his arm, instead of, it's not going to be like flat, it's actually going to come forward. So you see how my elbow got bigger as it comes closer to the screen? That's what we're going to be working on with this. So it's going to be sort of down and brought up. So this area, we might actually bring this up a little bit higher just to get the right effect, so it doesn't look like the arm is drooping. And we're going to make this a little bit shorter. So we're going to keep, we're just going to work through and we're going to clean it out. We'll bring it up a little bit higher up here till we get the right look. Maybe bring it up close to the rib cage area. We might bring it up that way. And you'll see as we do it and we bring the size to it, you're going to start to notice that it's going to get closer and closer to feeling correct. So we'll have this that runs down. Holding the fish. Maybe, I don't know if we'll have him holding a fish. We might have him actually, we might have him with a cast net, with a net or something, where the net's hanging down. Maybe he'll have like a net with some seashells or something like that, or lobster or something. Maybe did crabbing or something to that effect. So we're going to put the hand that way to where it looks. So we'll run the knuckles up. And of course, you don't want to have little tiny hands on these people. So you definitely got to, don't worry about actually having the, give them some size to them. You know, you'll know the difference as you start playing with it. To be like if they look like boxing gloves or if they look like they have little doll hands on them. So, and like I said, this is the whole point. So we went from a hand down to a hand up now, and it feels a little bit. It feels a little bit better to it. Just doesn't look like he's just like there on this page. So by doing that and bringing it up, you actually have a little bit piece here and a little bit more there. So it gives you a little bit more feel to it, and it'll allow us to where when you put the background in, we'll have it to where he's looking off at the girl. So, or they're coming back, they're getting done fishing or whatnot, and we'll have the background scene. They'll tie it all together, so it almost look like they're both coming up from the ocean, from out of the water that they went. So, and I might grab a pic somewhere of maybe the keys, and we might do something to that effect. And being I'm a Florida guy, we'll do the keys maybe. All right, so run that through. That looks a little bit better. It actually kind of allows a little bit more openness to this and allows a little bit more into it. Doesn't feel so it's such a guarded feel to it. So, and that's what you just kind of, you got to play with, because a structure without life is dead. You know? And of course, life without structure, you'll never see. That's one of those neat little quotes. It's a nice quote. It was done by a designer, actually, and I'm trying to remember the name of the designer that quoted off of there. So, I will tell you another quote that was pretty good that I like, and it was actually what am I getting? I'm getting another notification, aren't I? All right. Another quote that I always listen to is don't speak negatively about yourself. You know, even if it's as a joke, don't talk negative about yourself. Your mind, your body doesn't know the difference. Those words can be like our energy, and they can cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. And the person who said that was actually Bruce Lee, and he always believed that if you always talk positive, always talked about healing, always talked that you're going to get to there, you will get to that section, and it will work. And I hold that. That's definitely a strong belief. So I'm digging that a lot better. That's looking a whole lot better. And of course we'll run this way, find nipple lines. So we'll do a nipple line, and we'll run the bone structure up to the xiphoid. Great quotes, yes. Okay, so we got that. We'll give them an idea of maybe for a bathing suit. I'll give them one of those low swim trunk type deals. Maybe we'll give him punch up his leg muscles a little bit too. Let's see here. Let's punch up that leg muscle a little bit more. I listen to Joel Osteen as I work on Sundays a lot, and he says the same thing, not talking about I'll pause because then good things will happen in time. Your tongue is your rudder. That's correct. So maybe we'll give what was it? Maybe we'll give like a bathing suit, sort of like from James Bond, like Goldfinger or Dr. No, where he had. It's kind of like a snug, almost like a wetsuit shorts type thing. We'll give him about that, up to that height. Will probably look pretty good. So and we can. Run them up that way, and we'll give them clean up some of these lines to it. And we'll run this in, run that up, and we'll have to come up with a design piece for that. Alright, let's see here. When we run, see the inner part of the quad, we'll have a muscle this way, a muscle that way. And this part down here, I'll probably add on a little bit more to it, or what I'll do is when I scan him in, where I have her, she's just above the knee also, so when I'm going to do him at the same area, so that way he'll be at the same length. So we'll have the correct lining for that all in here. And we want to kind of show these guys have a little bit of have a little bit of snugness to them as a wetsuit. So we want it to show the softness of the actual muscle to where we want it to actually show that it's kind of going out and around it. We don't want it to look like it's just painted on. So we'll run that up. So we'll give this guy a little bit of a bump that way. Have a top part of your quadricep. Okay. And now we need to do is we will start to, the elbow looks good. Yep, that's what we got to start doing when you look at the elbow portion of it. And it always is good to have references and stuff. If you anybody, I mean, it's more power to you to be able to draw without references because you've practiced long enough to be able to do that. But even some of the best people, when they start to lay out some of that, you want to get a good structure or tone or strength to it. You want to make sure you have it right. So by doing that, and of course, This elbow's down here, but this arm's straight down. This one is pulled forward. Is your dragonfly done? Almost. I've actually been working on the dragonfly, Charlene, on the actual wings, because I was getting so detailed on the wings. I was getting myself way ahead of myself on that. So I was really working. I was getting too detailed on it, and I wanted to keep it a bit more simplistic. So I think I'm going to do a different medium to it. I might actually watercolor it to give it a watercolor look, but I do have it almost done. And once it does, I'll drop it. And it'll also be in the Facebook shopping area that's on my page, because I've been slowly starting to put stuff on there as well, instead of having to send you guys to either the Spring store or to the Streamlabs store. You can go there and you can pick out, see what you like, click on it, and it'll automatically take you over to the link instead of having to keep looking for those other link pieces. So just trying to make it a little more streamlined, a little bit easier. So let's bring the jaw down a little bit. And let's see here. Don't want him to look geeky, but I want him to kind of be, he's out enjoying himself, so maybe we'll give him see if we can give him a nice little smile. We'll work on the nose and stuff now. We got a little bit of that done up. So maybe we'll give a portion that way. That way. Don't be afraid to give somebody a nose. Everybody's usually afraid to give a nose, and they think it's going to end up looking huge. When you smile, of course, got the little curves, little corners. So even if you're not going to use them, it's always good to show the muscle structure the way you want, so that way you can make sure you have everything laid out and everything together. So here we'll start to get the hair laid out the way we want it. Haven't decided yet what we want to do for the hair for him. So, but we're starting to get him shaped in there. There's his neck turn. This isn't going to be so curved in because of the way the neck is turned. This will actually curve over. This one will have a little bit more of a more pull to it. All right, start cleaning up some of these lines. Okay. Now we'll start working in some of the deeper lines. And of course you got your little bump up here. We'll remember where that piece goes. And of course, don't forget your bone structure at the end of your elbows, your forearms there, for your wrist. And of course, He's ready to go find his scuba girl. Yep. Well, it's going to be more like they're out there together having fun is what it's going to be. Still got to come up with a hairstyle. Maybe. Should we give him short hair? Should we give him a medium length hair? Give him long hair? They'll have to be wet. Fun is great. That's right. So, but we'll run that way. Rib cage runs up where it's supposed to, that way. Have some of his accent for the ribs. And of course, from here, our rib cage runs that way. And there we go. Go. And it's 8:42 already. Let's see what we can come up. What we got? Let's look at some hairstyles. Maybe we could give him. Maybe we'll give him a little. No. Thought about it, but no. Trying to think of a good hairstyle that still would be okay. To give him a little bit of length to it to where he doesn't look like he's a military cut. Not that that's a problem, but give him a little bit more of a haircut to it. But something that's definitely going to have a maybe a should he have maybe a little whip up do? I don't know. I don't know about the whip up do. We'll leave it there for now. Okay. Let's see. Now what we need to do is we'll, come on, turn on. Let's see. Let's see here what we can work with. Maybe we'll give them, we got the basis for things, so maybe let's lighten this up a bit, and then we'll start working the eyes in. Maybe we'll let's see, we'll lighten that out a little bit more. Maybe we'll give them us more of a, let's try this one. That looks a little bit cleaner. And we can probably give them eyes, give them a kind of a bushier eye to it, eyebrow to it. That way, and we'll got that. Going to have the nose bridge being a little corner. The nose is going to is going to hide some of the other eye. We'll bring that in that way. Give a little nostril there. And then here this is the nice thing about this, is you just kind of work the cheekbone the way you need it to. There we are. So, don't want to give him too crazy. We don't want to give him a Frankenstein like forehead. So we give it that way. Let's run it up to about to there. We can do the same thing with the eyebrows over here. A little curve off to the side. Let's clean up some of these lines and we'll redo that nose a little bit. There we go. Let's bring it down a little bit further. There we go. Don't ever be afraid to give them a nose. You need to have noses. There we go. Now we're getting it in. And of course, the nice thing is to see how the line tracks to make sure. Now with this, I'll use my mirror that I have to look at it in the mirror to make sure the eyes are intact. I got a bigger one behind me and stuff that's off screen. We won't worry about that right now. So maybe we'll work with something. Maybe we'll give him a little, sort of a medium length hair on the top here. That might actually look pretty good. That way they can give it a wet look to where it's not like all soft and flowy and stuff at the same time. And we can bring it to where it gets shorter down here, to where we almost have it like a fade. That sort of looks like it got a nice little beach type haircut to it. And we'll run this side. Now this is going to be the neat part of this, is because we got the lighting established already with the girl. So the lighting's going to be hitting him this way at the same time. Like where the female was the same, where it's coming in. So where this is actually going to be lit up a little bit more. So we'll have a shadow that way there. So with that, you'll have a shadow on this side of the way your Adam's apple and everything runs through. So and of course, how does he want it? Do we want it to where the strap comes that way and the bag's coming out? Do we want the bag coming? How do we want that? Maybe we'll just have it to where the bag, maybe we'll do like a net. We'll run that to where it kind of hangs down. And we probably want to give him like his snorkel gear and stuff. Maybe we'll put his hand to where his hand's holding his snorkel gear. We'll close his hand up to where it's got his goggles and his snorkel gear. I wish I could post a picture, but I can't figure out if I could. Glad to hear the dragonfly is coming along. You can always, you can Facebook message me the picture, and I can get it on my phone. or you can send it to me, I think, through Instagram also, and you probably won't be able to comment on the live post and stuff, but if you send it to me through a messenger thing, I can get it. Is it something you want to show everybody? Let's go ahead and we'll get this set up as well. Get these. So we'll have the hem closed up. So we'll have a strap coming out here. We'll have a strap coming out that way. And we'll have to have goggles. Goggles will have a curved shape to them here. They'll curl in. Go that way. Of course, got to have the lock strap piece. This will have this strap area here, so it'll run kind of straight. Okay. We've got to give him his little rubber piece section of that. And he'll have his little nose guard that'll be down here as well. And I might have to look up to see how the snorkel. I haven't looked at a snorkel attachment for a while, so maybe we'll. Let's see. Snorkel and goggles. It's a hairstyle for your guy. I'll try and send it Facebook message. Okay, yeah, do that, and I can pull it up. Let me see if I can open up a link. Open up a page here, a window here. It's Facebook. All right, I got my messenger open if you send it through there. All right, so the snorkel hangs on off the side, so we'll have to probably put it, looks like almost all of them are hemming off that side, so unless we had one of those crazy scuba diving masks. So let's clean these up. So now we'll have, so this guy will go that way, and we'll have, of course, ooh, that one looks a little funky. I have to rework this a little bit. So okay. Ah, that is a funny picture. It's actually Leslie Nielsen. Actually, not Leslie Nielsen. That's Lloyd. Is it Lloyd Bridges? Yeah. Yeah, that's young Lloyd Bridges. Let me see if I can put that up on the picture here. I might have to. Let's see. Can I? 1 second. Let me open up my paint and let me see if I can. Oh, come on, hurry up. I'm gonna put it up here so everybody can see it. 1 second. Just gotta. Come on. There we go. We'll go to here. Let's go to that. And I'll just sit it right there. That'll be okay. Now let me go to my Clip Studio Paint and I'll open it up real quick. So that's the hairstyle that Charlene sent us. That's actually a young Lloyd Bridges. But that might actually work out. We could do something like that. maybe let's see. Let me go ahead and close this up so that way you guys can go back and see the other camera again. Bloop, there we go. Let's see here. Let's see how that hairstyle will look. We got a few minutes anyway. Yeah, so Longbridge is during his film work on Sea Hunt. That was the show I was trying to think of, Sea Hunt. So it kind of has the part is there. So we can give him sort of the, looks like it goes, yeah, it kind of goes up and kind of curls a little bit. So let's see if we can give him sort of a little pull that way, and that kind of curled over that way, so he has sort of a little bit longer down here. Something to that effect, and we'll have it to where it even runs up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, we can use that haircut. That might actually look out pretty good. I don't know, what'd you guys think? The spiky or that? What you guys like better? Could go either way. Let's see. I can hear you, but screen is frozen. Oh. Can't see the picture of the hairstyle. That's because I took it off so that way you can see this on the screen for it. So, but that's the hairstyle there. So I cleaned off the kind of the spiky wet look and put that on there. That could actually work out. So, all right. Is your screen unfrozen now, Brian? It was probably in between the two for me jumping between the Clip Studio Paint and the here that it froze for a moment. So, it sometimes does not like that. I never saw it. I can't see the diver either. Okay, let me, oh, so you can't even see the drawing pad? Huh. Let me hit a transition, see if it'll flip it, get it straightened out. How about now? You see it now? You can. I just refreshed, now I can see the diver. Okay. Yeah, sometimes when I do that though, I open up the Clip Studio Paint and it flips between the two, what shows up in front of the other. It kind of lags or hangs up a little bit. I think we can stick with the, it's working. Okay, I think we can stick with that hairstyle though. It's actually 8:59. Wow. So we'll have to put the pencil down and save this for now. And this is how you save a hand drawing one. You just leave it alone. You don't have to do it as a digital file. So let's go to the bigger screen. All right. Well, 2 hours later, we got some more coloring done up on the Scuba Girl. Did a little bit of shadowing, and we actually went from a blank page and trying to come up with the Scuba Guy. Time for Monarch. Have a great night. All right, Brian. Well, you have yourself a good night too, brother. Like I said, Thursday, we might, instead of doing this, we might do work on a fall design for the overlays and get rid of we'll change out the pumpkins and my Scully guy here, and we'll set up the background area a little bit more to where it'll look like Brian, you have a good night, man. Be well. I'll see you Thursday. And we might do that Thursday where we'll come up with some neat ideas for maybe making a fall festival or something for Thanksgiving for the new stream overlay. We might do that on Thursday. That way we'll have it for either the following Tuesday. Like I said, I might not be on for Tuesday night because we're going to be going to see my grandmother. And hopefully on Tuesday. If I am there, you probably won't have a webcam unless like I said, I use my cell phone or I try out the camera that's attached to the computer, which they're not always the best. But we might do a little bit of that. And if I do able to do it, probably what I'll end up doing is I will, like I said before, maybe what I'll do is if she's awake or whatnot during that time and stuff, and she's doing well, maybe I'll do a sketch with her, and maybe I'll find a picture of my grandfather and stuff who passed away already, and maybe I'll do a drawing and stuff, either digitally or hand drawn and stuff, of my grandmother and grandfather. She's 101. She did get put on hospice, so that's why we're going to go visit her. Make sure give her our love and let her see that we're doing all right. But anyway, thank you for joining me, guys. I hope you all have a great night. Good Wednesday. We'll see you Thursday. And don't forget, blessed night. Let's create something together. Good night, everybody.